Okay, so I'm Kayla Parker, I'm a lecturer in Media Arts at the university, and I've been module leader for the experiment module in the second year since I came here in autumn of 2008, so this is my third year as module leader. It's the longest and probably the most complicated module that the students do on the BA Media Arts course. So it runs from the end of September right the way through to May, and it's 40 credits, so it's quite a chunky amount of the sort of like the credits that the student gets in their second year that leads into the third year.
It's a great opportunity to do your own work, your very own work. It's an experimental module, which is kind of self-explanatory, I suppose, and it lasts all year, and that can feel a bit daunting because it's a long time, but it gives you a real opportunity to explore things that you've never done before, that you've always wanted to try, and you can make mistakes because you've got enough time to kind of work through something and explore something in depth, and hopefully I think what some students achieve are really quite ambitious and complex projects, and it's great to see them happen.
And because of that, we structure it quite heavily into sort of sections. So the first term we're concentrating on workshops with lectures on sort of critical thinking, critical dialogues, and then the second term is about students developing a proposal for a project that they actually want to make and then show at the exhibition in May. And one of the things that we do on Media Arts is that each year, at the end of the year, the students curate and present with a work from one of the modules that they do in that year to the public, and that's really useful for students to do. It's also useful for us because it allows us to see the work in a context that's different to actually sort of having work in folders.
What it was for? Well, it's for the students. It's a way of celebrating the work that they've done and saying, yeah, it's the end of the year, but we've done these great projects, we want other people to see them, we'd like to watch each other's films, see each other's photographs, because often I think in the classroom you don't get to see everybody's finished work, so it's a great opportunity for students to share their work. It's exciting to have it professionally displayed, to go through that whole process of mounting it, framing it, or putting it on a show reel, getting proper kind of idents and titles and everything to make it look as good as it can look, and then having friends, family, members of the public and the press come in to have a look at it and making comments about it, so you get feedback on it, not just from your tutors but also from people outside of the university.
I'm really glad that we have this tradition in Media Arts where students are encouraged to do the same at the end of each year as well. So at the end of the first year, students will curate and organise and present an exhibition which is open to the public, has an opening, there's press, publicity, all the sort of things that you need to think about when you're presenting your work to other people. And then at the end of the second year, it's the experiment work that gets presented, and then that leads into the third year, the degree show, which is a much sort of bigger, high-profile event because it's the end of the students' sort of time with us. Really, they've spent 3 years with us, and hopefully now they're in a position to be completely independent and to take their practice forward into the world. So I think it's a really good opportunity to do that. And I think if you talk to the students, they would sort of say the same.
The show is for the students, and they take on different roles. So they don't curate the show, but they can organise the work and the opening and the events at the opening and the music and the kinds of things that happen within the show. They can take charge of the press, write the press releases, get experience in all of the kind of little details of putting on a show. Some of which are quite mundane, but they're quite useful to know, and all that sort of thing about how to publicise your work, what kinds of websites and links, how to write a press release, how to write that kind of text, because it's unusual language, maybe not used to doing it. So yes, the students take on all sorts of different roles.
We sent out lots of invitations, so that several people, including the Arts Officer for Plymouth City Council, the Curator at Plymouth Arts Centre, and some of the other sort of more high-profile sort of people who work in the city, couldn't come to the opening on that night, but they did come to the exhibition, which was open the following week. And so did lecturers from other institutions as well. So we had lecturers from University College Plymouth Marjon come on the Tuesday and spent the afternoon here looking through particularly the photographic work they were interested in. On the opening night on Friday, we had about 300 people, I would say, and that's a lot of people to get onto the first floor of the Scott Building. So another thing that was quite nice is that we would invite the students to, if anyone wants to provide any music during the opening, and this year we had Jack Godby and Tom Summers providing live music.
I think it was very positive. We saw quite a few people at the opening. They really liked being able to vote for their favourite piece of work. I think they found that quite exciting. They felt like they were sort of taking part in something, and it made them look at everything, I suppose, as well, more closely. And we had some really good feedback on certain kinds of work, and some of it was more popular than others. But I think it's, like I said before, exciting for people to see what's going on at the university and get a chance to come and have a look.
One thing that's quite pleasing to me is we had 81 students enrolled on the module, and had 73 students submit their final coursework on time, and there's a few students who were ill who couldn't submit, and so that's almost 100% students completed the module. Assessments are still going sort of in progress, and it's quite a complicated module with 3 assessment points throughout the year, so that's still going on over the next week. But one thing I'm always surprised about is the variety of work that's produced on this module.
I think it was a success? Well, I've just started working here, so I haven't been here too long, but everyone says it was better than last year, whichever that means. But I think it was really good. I think there was some really, really interesting work. I was quite surprised because when you see something in progress, sometimes you're not quite sure how it's going to turn out, and I think I was really pleased to see how ambitious some of the projects were, and then at the end how well they turned out, and they looked really good, and the range of work as well, the diversity of different projects. I think that's really interesting to see.
Sometimes students produce the best work of their 3 years on the experiment module, and they surprise us and they also surprise themselves.
Film. Myself and 2 unknown voters voted up all the collection of voting that you did 2.5 hours ago in the Scott Building. We've come up with the first and second prize for audiovisual and 2-dimensional work. And here to present these awards is the leader of our subject, Mr. David Hilton. First of all is for the audiovisual.
Can I just say thank you very much for a fantastic feast of creativity. I haven't been involved in this module. It's a real pleasure to see it all come together so amazingly. And the show is fantastic, and it's been really exciting screening. So
the letter.
And the instructions. Envelopes I need to open it. Okay, this is the, excuse me. Second place, this is for the best audiovisual work, goes to Joseph Smith. Is Joe not here?
Did you say Skinner or Stutter?
Stuttr.
Sorry, Joe.
It's alright.
Okay, and in first place we have Andy Warren and James Wright.
You want to make a speech?
We acknowledge that our film had its own television, which is a bit unfair, and we are sorry.
That's it? That's it?
It's not really a speech, more just an apology.
Such a coward, anyway.
Up next we have prizes for 2D work and best 2D work, and the second place goes to Hannah Wise. Okay.
Fortunately, Hannah is not here, so I'll keep that award for herself.
And in first place, Anastasia and Joshua's
Here you are, fellas. You bought yourself Amazon vouchers, a certificate, and an award. Mainly because I forgot to give James and Andy's their awards, so I'll give it to them now.
You're the man, Darren.
Yes, I am. That's why you gave me this position. Speech?
Thank you. Glad you liked it. It was quite fun to do, even though we did all in Malaga. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, thank you. Hope you like it.
Thank you very much. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed a fantastic night.